Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where amazing tabletop role playing games are played live. This is part of Star Wars Saturdays, an ongoing anthology series that I have been running for coming up on 3 years for the Gauntlet community. The Gauntlet is this worldwide community. We're all online playing tabletop role playing games together, mostly of the small press or indie or OSR bent. And in Star Wars Saturdays, every month, I will post out to the Gauntlet community. We have an RSVP thing. It's really fun and easy. That way, lots of different people get to play a different RPG system. To date, I have run or participated in 33 different RPG systems in the Star Wars setting that are not officially licensed Star Wars RPGs. And I plan on continuing that silliness for as long as I can because it's fun. I love the universality of RPGs. And if you do a great job of picking out the right kind of game and the right place in the Star Wars universe, you can make almost anything work in Star Wars. This month, we are playing Comrades. Comrades is a revolutionary RPG by W.M. Akers, and he wrote this game with the core concept of people playing revolutionaries. And there are a number of different play sets, including one for New York in 2025. So I thought, hey, why not port it to Star Wars? And I have to say, friends, of the majority of games that I drift or hack or whatever word you want to, that I shove the square peg into the round hole with some shaving off the edges, this has been the one where I did literally no work. Like, I think we renamed guns blasters, but like this game was made to be pretty universal. Like, you need the right situation. We are on Coruscant, which is the capital world of the Empire after the original trilogy has ended. So Palpatine has died on Death Star 2. We'll never see him again because, blew up a whole freaking like weapons platform he was on after he went down a shaft. So like double dead for sure, no doubt. And in the aftermath of that, if you've seen the Return of the Jedi special edition, you see the big party and the Palpatine statue getting knocked down. Well, in this thing that Disney did away with called the Expanded Universe, there was that did not get rid of the Imperial presence on Coruscant. And I think that makes the most sense, right? You've got bajillions of stormtroopers, and if Palpatine dies, these guys are embedded, like they're used to their power. So it's going to take a little bit more than just a figurehead toppling over for that to be done. So we're playing in the aftermath of that. I'm using an expanded universe character, but I'm trying not to draw too much from the expanded universe per se. But I like the very scummy looking guy, Sate Pestage, who as a stepped in as the Vizier. He was supposedly one of Palpatine's main advisors. He's human, but boy, he barely looks it. He's all bald and kind of scraggly. He definitely looks like, you know, the whole thing in the Clone War or in the prequels where we had a bunch of fake Amidala's. He's totally a fake Palpatine, but not a clone at all. Definitely not a clone. Like, he literally isn't a clone, just in case you think I'm joking. So Saint Passage stepped in, said he was going to restore law and order, blah, 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 which means stormtroopers all over. And these folks have been playing the Comrades, the party known as the Voiceless, who are trying to bring freedom to Coruscant. Coruscant is a Epinopolis. I'm mispronouncing that, which means that the entire world is one big contiguous city. It has manufactured weather and has been raining quite a bit. There are subterranean levels of the city that are habitable in and of themselves. There's one particular really scummy level known as 1313, where you probably don't want to go because the Hutt cartels have gangs roving all over down there. But we're all up generally on the surface of Coruscant. So, with all of that ahead, let me tell you quickly of our safety tools. We have lines and we have veils. Lines are things content we don't want to have in our story. And if someone accidentally stumbles into it, we gently remind them and we cut it away. Sexual assault, sexual violence, we have a line on that, and a line on harm to pet animals. We have veils, which this is content that we're okay if it comes up, but we don't want to shine a light on it. So consensual sex, if that happens, we'll hear some like, jazz music, like some soft saxophone or something. We're going to fade to black, that kind of thing. May do a star wipe if you know the kind of looks of Star Wars movies. And the other thing we veil is death or endangerment of children. We have a few other items where we'd like to ask first, which means that if you're considering introducing this thing, or if it's an idea you have, you say, hey, I've got an idea about what if so-and-so. And if anyone at the table says, let's try it a different way, then we respectfully move on and we try a different way. And the ask firsts are suicide, mind control or domination, romance with PCs, romance with NPCs, graphic injuries. So these are things that we haven't taken off the table. We just want people to kind of check in, make sure like, hey, I think this might be a thing. And we have a real quick conversation. You might think, oh, would that break the flow of the game? It doesn't. It really doesn't, friends. So don't worry about that at all. And then on top of that, we do have the X card, as we do for all games that I run. It's a big blunt instrument, and I love blunt instruments. I call myself the Orc Lord because blunt instruments. With the X card, if there's content that for whatever reason you didn't think would come up, or just for whatever reason today you don't feel like dealing with it, it harshes your vibe, it ruins your fun. All you have to do is say, hey Rich, I need to X card a thing. I've had people X card names, and that's okay. Like this particular name, I really don't want this name in my made up my elf games make believe. That's cool. That's totally cool. If I heard certain names in my Star Wars stories, I'd be like, and I would probably X card it myself. So I've never run into a situation where X card's been used where it hampered the game in any way. So don't you worry about it. We will stop the game. I may check in with you just to understand what it was that was X carded if it's not clear, but I'm not going to ask you to defend yourself or explain your reasons. You don't have to. I trust you. We're adults. We're here to have a good time. Ostensibly, we're adults, friends, in case you don't think of yourself as being an adult. We are playing Star Wars made up stuff where we rolled fake dice on the internet, but we're close enough. So that's all of the stuff, the preambles. Let's get to some ambles. Let's go around the horn and have players introduce themselves and remind us of their character. And then I'll set the scene and we'll jump into this stuff. I'm going to start from the right-hand side of the character keeper so that I get to say, hey, Sawyer, good morning. Could you introduce yourself? Tell us about your character.
Hello, I am Sawyer, also known as Ferret. I'll be playing Charlotte, the Gamorrean tattoo artist, who last time led her gang to an explosive performance that left the stormtroopers completely bewildered and unable to appreciate fine art. Also, lots of explosions. And we'll see where she gets in, what trouble she gets into today.
Thank you, Sawyer. Next up is Mark.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mark. You might also know me as Kai online, XAI. My pronouns are they, them, and I am playing Rogan. He, him pronouns. He's a Kashiri, and he's a disaffected youth. He couldn't make it in the school system, and it was costing too much. And he's become a brute of a young man. And he's recently saved his cousin from dire peril. And we will see what happens with that after he recovers from his injuries in the fight. I think he got up to 3 out of 4 harm, so it was real close. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you. Steven, you're up.
Hi, I'm Steven. I use the pronouns he, him. Today I'm playing Curl Durpo, who's an Ognot worker, who also uses the pronouns he, him. Curl is a janitor of types and has kind of like a little janitor network of different people. You know, he knows the cleaning people for different places, and he might have a spare key or two to get into things. But he's real no nonsense and real, we get the job done.
Darn straight. And last but not least, welcome back, Cody. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Cody. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Lin Lanid, a young man, a young Duros mystic. He grew up as a cult's chosen one, kind of fell out of that, and now he's looking for a new path, and he thinks he's found it here with the Comrades and the Voiceless. So not sure what he got up to. Last week when I missed, he probably was nursing many injuries and cuddling with his loft cat, Cara Dune. But he's back for more.
Darn straight. So we had an agreement at end of game, just as an update. We are going to have a meeting with a New Republic contact, and then we're going to kind of step out of game, go a little meta, and advance the clock down one or more pathways. We'll figure that out in just a minute, but I do want to so we start off with all of you guys, all of your characters back at Charlotte and Lin Lanid's flat, where it is filled to the brim with tired, hungry folks after the protests and the combat that took place after the protests. And someone turns on their little comm unit and dials in, searching along the spectrum, listening until finally they hear the symphonic music that identifies that the voice of the voiceless, none other than the co-leader of the party, Esli Terra's broadcast has begun. Greetings, comrades. The voiceless now have a voice. Listen to me as I tell you stories of the revolution across the galaxy. The shackles are breaking, friends. Comrades, freedom is coming, not only to the galaxy, but here on Coruscant. Across the worlds, you will not hear the stories of the propaganda of the official airwaves. What they shovel to you is nothing more than poodoo. On Tatooine, after the death of Jabba Tior, Tatooine, all of the Imperials there, they have fallen to infighting. The stormtroopers roam the streets like gangs, like dogs. They are broken. All of their vaunted, supposed discipline is nothing as they grab with filthy, stained hands for what's left on Tatooine. The New Republic has freed the Imperial prison planet of Gesseril. Thousands of political prisoners, thousands of people who were thrown into shackles, into deep, dark gulag. They are free because of the New Republic. And more worlds are becoming free every day. But it's not just happening outside, up in the skies, friends. Here on Coruscant, the voiceless is fighting for freedom as well. Amidst the rubble of Setsu's show Cantina, a peaceful entertainment place for hardworking folks of Coruscant, which was destroyed by stormtroopers in what they claim is a terrorist act, but in actuality was nearly a catastrophe, a murder of many citizens, your brothers, your sisters, your siblings, your lovers. They were saved by the voiceless, and a peaceful protest was held yesterday, friends. A peaceful protest to cry out in pain for those who were lost, in demands for justice for those who were lost. But it was, I assure you, I was there. I watched the peaceful protest. But then ATSTs came. Then an APC filled with troopers came, and they did not just want to disperse. They wanted to hurt. They wanted to maim. They wanted to kill. But the voiceless was ready, friends. We stood up. We fought back. An ATST destroyed an entire factory. Thousands of workers have no employment now because of the violence of the vestiges of the Imperial Reich. Stormtroopers were defeated. Some people were hurt, but it was not a terrorist act. It was defense. It was solidarity. The voiceless will be heard. Mark my words, friends. Freedom is coming. The choice is if you join it or if you stand in its way. The voices will be heard. We have one word. What is that word? Winosa. And then the music swells again, and people are heartened here. It gives them back a bit of energy, and the broadcast comes to its conclusion. Real quick, what is the expression we see on Charlotte's face during this broadcast?
I think a bit of pride. I mean, she did do a lot during this part, and everyone that was important to her survived.
And then, Lynn, you're tending to the wounded, and you hear of the exploits of your fellow compatriots. You'd taken a bit ill, and they begged you to stay. And now you hear of the things that were done in the name of the voiceless. So what do we see across your face as you hear of the events that took place?
I think Lynn, he's wrapping up some comrade's arm, tending to their fingers, making sure they work correctly. And then as the broadcast kind of plays out, I think his eyes go wide and he looks towards Charlotte and he gets kind of like a smile, just like, yes, like you did it. You did something. Like this is the path and it is going. I think he's quite enthused by it. He's perhaps his eyes wall wide kind of have a touch of I wish I had been there. I'm supposed to lead. I'm supposed to find the path, and I wasn't able to do that. But seeing that Charlotte did, I think, fills him with just as much passion and joy that it's being found. So yeah, I think that's what it is. I think, and he's going to stand back and let Charlotte kind of have this moment in the sun, as it were.
Nice. And then Rogan, your cousin, fellow Kashiri, another student who didn't drop out, who hasn't had the financial troubles that you had, but who you helped to save, and who in turn tried to save you. She listens to the broadcast. She's still wide-eyed. If she were to be a PC, she would definitely be the student playbook, because the student playbook has a move, hopelessly naive, which I adore. But she looks to you as all of the descriptions happen, and she seems questioning. She seems curious if this is what you're fully committed to, or if this was something you were swept up in on just a one-time thing. What do you do, Rogan?
First thing I do is unmute myself.
Good call.
I think, I'm on the cot. I assume she's looking down at me. She's got all this concern in her face. I take her hand and I grip it tightly. And I say, tell me what you're thinking. Say it out loud.
Are you willing to die for this, Rogan? I could look into some scholarship fund or something. We could maybe get you back to school.
A school led by these humanists will never accept me or propel me, and I have to be a step in the ladder for others to better themselves.
She nods slowly.
But don't worry, they won't get me. They got close, but I'm not going to fall to them.
Okay. Okay. We cut to Kirill. What the pragmatic, the taciturn Kirill? What do we see play across his face as he listened to that? What does he do in the aftermath of that broadcast?
So I think Carol was in the workshop working on Charlotte's nanny bot, and
Right.
he hears the radio in the background, and occasionally, as I think as the voice of the resistance mentions the attack and the ATST, he kind of stops what he's working on and kind of looks over at the radio, and you see this flicker of emotion over his face, and then he just turns back. Fert, do you mind if I name the nanny bot?
Oh yeah,
Fantastic.
cool.
So the nanny bot, I just put a link in the chat. It's an R0 type nanny bot droid, and we're going to call it R0BN, or Robin.
Ah, love it.
Yep. And basically, I think that it's one of those things that, I've gotten it active at this point, but I think it's still, maybe it doesn't have control over its limbs, or it's still partially blind, and I'm still working on things, but it's starting to become, question things. What's going on? Where am I? That kind of thing.
Nice.
I am sorry, but Ugnaught, what is your designation? I do not recall meeting you.
I am Curl, and if you'll give me just a moment, I'm going to try to help you. You will be functional soon, and all will be clear, but just be calm for now, and I will introduce you to the important people once you are more able to function.
Very well, I will await. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Can you move this limb and see if it's okay? Yes. Okay, that looks like it works. Okay, let's move that one. Oh, no, that one's not working. Let me work on that.
Nice. Cool. I like that. Good. Anybody need anything else from this scene, or are we good to jump ahead? Okay. So we jump ahead. Some time has passed, and we see that you guys, and I can't remember, I think I'd said a different place to meet, but I'd really like to utilize Viscosity. So if no one minds, there's a picture of Viscosity in the NPCs and places. It's just below Ebon Diamond Casino, although we've got to have a scene there soon too. Viscosity is very much the neon washed, dingy, cyberpunky style bar of our setting. There's a low synth wave that's thrumming as each of you come in. You're here set to meet with your contact. You have like a passcode, or kind of a A and B set of passcodes. Let's see. I think that you are supposed to say something about the weather. What do we say? Like the sun is shining outside, or what do you guys think should be the A and B of our little passcodes to make sure that you have the correct contact.
The sunlight filters through the skyscrapers to warm the city streets.
If we say that to a stranger, they're going to be like, what?
So it's like you say the sunlight and then they say to warm the city streets kind of deal?
Sure.
Okay, cool. I dig that. That's pretty hot. And so you guys look around. So which one of you has been to Viscosity a bunch would know who the regulars are versus those who might stand out as new? Is that Rogan's scene? Is that Charlotte's? Is that...
I've probably seen several of the regulars, but just having to shoo them off to come for me for drunken tattoos, and like just giving them their card, come back when you're sober.
Oh, nice. You've had too many regrets.
It's like, I'm not giving you your girlfriend's name, especially since you just met her 3 drinks ago.
I guess then it's my scene. It's my place.
Nice.
I guess I drink here.
I like it. Cool. So if you take a look, we do have a few regulars that I've identified in our NPCs. They're down on row 26. Fiend Selah is the Saryman who's always there after work. You having a shock bat, maybe you got the idea from Balam Keller, who is the bouncer at Viscosity.
Nice.
So the two of them are kind of regulars here. And I think if you guys are okay with it, Free Wind, who was once known as Nabrina, she is along with you guys, if that's okay. Unless someone has a specific objection, I think she would very much want to be here. So, as you scan the place, Rogan, looking for folks who stand out. You want to do a little bit of what's going on here?
Sure. Does it mean I can roll my body? No,
You
it doesn't.
can roll mind. Oh, we should do a little bit of healing. Some time has passed before your meeting. So, Duros, Lynn, do you think you'd like to do a bit of a healing touch just before Rogan
absolutely.
steps into the place? Awesome.
Yeah, I think Lynn would have taken the time as much as wherever he was able, and it looks like everybody's pretty equally hurt. So I think he'd start with Charlotte if that's cool with Charlotte. All right, so yeah, he's gonna attempt healing touch. So I'm rolling plus bond, which is 1. And let's see here. See if I remember what I'm doing.
Okay. Need the link to the die roller?
I think I'm in the right one. The Coruscant Comrades.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that I can do such things.
And I got a 6, so I'm starting off real strong, guys.
Nice. That is not exactly what I call strong, but okay.
So I think I think Lynn kind of approaches you, Charlotte, and he starts. I see you're wounded. I'm sorry I couldn't have been there. Let me try to do something. And he holds out his hand and kind of places it.
I think this time, it's not that you don't do it, she refuses to let you. It's just no, I earned these in battle. This is like the Gamorrean coming out. These are my first scars of this revolution. Let me bear them until they heal properly.
Yeah. Okay. And I pull my hand back a little bit. Of course. Yes. Okay. And I think Lynn is feels a little left behind by Charlotte right now. I think yeah.
Ooh.
Can I try to do a healing touch for everybody, or?
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I'm gonna pack in some quick failures. It'll be great leveling.
Yeah, you advanced. Basically, that's all you're after. You do selfish things. You're using their bodies to get you an advancement.
Yeah, truly, I'm a monster.
I think whenever that thing goes on with Charlotte, and Charlotte kind of backs away, Curl kind of snorts, like like you could do anything, Magic Boy.
Lynn looks a little crestfallen, and he's not going to try and heal anybody else.
Oh,
Harsh.
Yeah.
Poor Rogan needs it.
Yeah.
That was all set up to get Rogan away from death's door, but okay.
I'm sorry, Rogan. If it was up to
Yeah.
me and me alone.
So then
Well,
I think Curl will go over to Rogan and engage in just some regular chit chat. This is, I'm working on a droid in the back. And have you introduced your cousin? I don't remember if you've introduced the rest of us to her.
Well, I've been on a cot for a while.
That's right, because she came over and sat with you.
Yeah. So I'll introduce her when you come over. Let's see here. We've named her Mana. Kirill, this is Mana. This is my cousin. She was part of the protests. I'm specifically not mentioning the fact that I had to save her. Like, I don't want to embarrass her or anything like that.
Right. I think she's kind of sitting down next to the cot, and Curl is standing, and he kind of puts his shoulder on her, to illustrate kind of the height difference, and says, "You are welcome within the voiceless. There are many things that must be done here, and you've seen the price that many of us will pay eventually, but it is worth it for." You heard the broadcast, right?
I did.
It is worth it for the voiceless to gain their voice and to stretch out from the tyranny that occurs between us. And then he reaches over and he puts a hand like on Rogan's leg and says, "This is the bond that joins us."
Kirill, I don't think. I think this is all that Mana is going to be able to do. I do not see her wanting this, right, cousin?
I don't know. It's a lot.
Everyone has their piece to play, and if hers is not directly with us, I hope that she keeps us within her mind so that freedom continues to grow.
Oh, thank you. Kind of expected you to yell at me.
And I think that, he says, that is why we fight. Those in charge often yell at us and berate us to do a better job. We know more the bonds of freedom and get to choose our own way. If I had yelled at you, I would have been no better than they are. And I think while he's doing this, his deft fingers are kind of unwrapping the wound on Rogan and, the bandages and, cleaning it a little bit with some Bacta spray or something and then rewrapping it just while he's in the middle of this conversation.
Nice. I definitely think you're sharing a quiet moment here.
Okay. And my bond with Rogan is... Oh, my bond with Rogan's a 3.
Yeah, you're quite bondy.
I rolled an 8, so that's an 11.
Wow. 10 plus, pick 2 from the list.
And do I pick or does Rogan pick?
I think the person who is rolling
Okay.
picks.
So I will heal 1 harm. And you're good now, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. And let's add 1 to the bond. Is that my bond or his bond?
That would be on your side.
My bond? Okay. So I think that'll roll my bond over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you an
XP
XP
for you.
Okay. And it starts back at 0?
1.
It starts at 1.
Yeah, it
Okay.
starts at 0 if it goes -3 and rolls, but it
Okay.
goes back to 1 if it's +4 and rolls.
Okay, So I think that, once Curl's done kind of replacing the bandage and everything, he kind of leans over to Rogan and says, "You're fine now. You should get up and come back to the start your work again."
Nice.
And then just kind of gets up and kind of totters off.
That's great. That's great. So we jump back to the present. Sorry for that backtrack and jump forward, but I kind of like that. So yay. Rogan, you're looking around, and if you want to go ahead and give me that what's going on here, you'll roll with mind.
Okie doke. Woohoo! Got a 9.
All right. On a 9er, you get 1 question, and you're looking for your contacts. So I think watching out for is good, but you can also look at other things, like if you want to be more preliminary and check out the sitch.
Which one did you choose?
I didn't choose anything. You get to choose. I was suggesting if you want to find that contact, it might be best to go with something like, what should I watch out for? But
okay, that was part.
I was also giving you the option, like if you wanted to say, no, I want to ask a different question.
Yeah. Too bad it's not 2 questions.
It's too bad. It's 1 away.
So I'm going to ask it in a weird way.
Okay. I like your weird ways.
Okay. So I'm not spotting them, but what am I missing?
So your intent with the question is not to spot them?
No. My intent is to tell me where they are, but in the context of they're so good that I'm not seeing them.
Oh, nice. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for explaining. I had problems. What you miss is that instead of finding a dark corner, of which there are many in viscosity, and hiding out, he is hiding in open space. He just looks like another salaryman at the bar. But you know Fiend Selah, and you realize from the body posture of Fiend Selah that he doesn't know this guy who's really like looks like he belongs. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I turn to I turn to Kirill, and I'm like, the owner doesn't know this guy. I think he's our best first shot at this.
And I think Curl reaches into his bag and pulls out like a dirty, greasy rag. And he kind of wipes his face with it a little bit and gets some smear of grease on, and then goes up and starts wiping down part of the bar like he belongs there, right? And is starting to, I think he nods at Rogan before all of that, and then starts to kind of work his way, and probably like gets down and starts cleaning part on the floor around the bar stools, working his way towards where this stranger is that Rogan pointed out.
Nice. And you notice that he is aware of your presence, whereas even some of the regulars haven't really picked up on it's. I mean, you may as well be a droid from the reaction of several of the regulars here. But he seems to notice that you're very diligent about your work, and he kind of sits back from the bar a little bit on his stool and says, Good work.
And I think Curl kind of squints up at him a little bit. There's some light shining down, and he kind of covers his face, and he says, the sun through the skyscrapers is bright.
It's best, maybe the only way for it to warm the city streets.
And I think Curl, turns his back and like wipes down part of the bar and then slowly stands up and nods to the guy.
He nods back. Where have the rest of you gone? Like Rogan, where did you have folks move to since you know this place? Sharp
Yes.
knows it too.
So I was thinking that we're going to pick the place that we want to talk in, and we're going to lure him over to us. Right?
Yeah.
And so we're in we've chosen the best dark corner for the wizard to come talk to us. And
awesome.
So
I like wizards talking in dark corners. This is good.
I think it's the name of my next game.
Dude, seriously, make it. Throw it up on itch. You don't even need to play test it. Just charge $15. Sorry, that was a joke. Not a good one. Soon he excuses himself and toddles off towards the bathroom and then comes back, but doesn't go back to his seat. No one seems to care. But he makes his way to where you guys are. You can see his picture is on row 8 of our NPCs. He's dark-skinned human, probably from Socorro, if I remember then how to pronounce that planet correctly. Help me out, Cody. Am I right? It's the same planet that Lando's from. You know what I'm talking about? The desert planet?
Shirako?
Say again, Ferret.
If it's SCIRRO or like there's this. I think it might be Shirako, but
okay, cool. It's SOCORRO. I think you had it right, Rich. I think it's like Morocco, but so.
Okay, Socorro. Sweet. Awesome. So yeah, he's probably from Socorro because he totally gives me Lando vibes. And he comes in. He's got a mug that you don't know if he carried it into the bathroom, which would be kind of weird, or if he grabbed it off of a table, but it's a prop to him. And he ends up, I think, maybe sitting between Linlanid and Rogan. Just kind of settles into the seat. Greetings, comrades. You can call me Viner Delst. Your friend there came to me, so I assume you're here to talk. Is that right?
I think you can see.
I believe.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. I was just gonna say I believe so. So you're good.
You can see how nervous Rogan is, right? Like this isn't straightforward. This isn't, where do we put the bombs? Where do we, make people run to, that kind of stuff, that kind of planning. Like this kind of thing is just beyond him. So he's just very nervous about it. So he's just nodding. Yeah.
Yeah, I think likewise Lynn is he's a little intimidated by Viner here, and he kind of makes room for him. He's like, please sit. Yes. And he looks to Charlotte to lead the discussions.
I think that Curl actually followed Venor back to the bathroom, and in the bathroom found like a mop, and followed him back to the table and kind of led him back to the table. And he's sitting there with this mopping nearby the table so he can listen. But yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I guess if Charlotte's being the one given the voice, she will clear her throat, and I assume he doesn't even look, as like most times Gamorreans don't speak, and she'll finally just break, and it's like, so you wish to aid our cause, we have heard.
I do, but I've come specifically to you. The voiceless organization has been reluctant to accept the help of the New Republic, but I saw what happened at the protest at Setsu's. I saw who came and who did not, who watched and who participated. You are doers. You are willing to put forth the effort to make things happen. Every organization needs leaders, of course. But what matters most is those who put forth the effort.
Those are pretty words. Do you want pawns or do you want peers?
I'd like peers. Because all of you have been pawns for too long. Before the voiceless, you had no opportunity to make change, and now you do, but this is an entire planet.
Okay, out of character, this is really nice, but what's going on here?
Ooh. So do you want to roll that with mind?
I believe I do.
Cool.
Let me make sure this is okay, correct. Ah, that is a 7. I get
All right.
one question, and since of my artistic license, I'll just ask, is he telling the truth?
He's telling the truth that he wants to help you. You get the feeling he's been frustrated by Ryaka and Esley, and he's desperate to try to find some people who will move forward with helping to free Coruscant.
Yeah, I think this may be a good part to move, like start the move on. Is like Charlotte begins putting her fingers together, Mr. Burns style, and okay, these are what we need. And like it slides the list like Curl has like written for them of like things that are necessary for the plans.
He takes a pretty casual look at it, the kind of a thing where he wants to see it, but he's not going to be obvious about looking at it here in a public place. Reads it over. Not everything can come immediately, but I can help you.
We have time. If it's anything we know about, it's patience. And when things are looking so close to being finished, a little bit of patience won't kill us.
I hope you're right. So, this meeting, is there anything else you guys want from this meeting, or should we move to the more meta conversation?
Yeah, actually,
Cool.
I think that after that little conversation ends, and it almost looks like everybody's going to get up from the table, I think that's whenever Curl walks over, and I think he puts something like a heavy wrench on the table, kind of bam, to get everyone's attention, and he looks up at Venor and he goes, "What do you want from us?"
I want you to put this to good use. My job, my one job, is to try to crush the heart of the Empire, and it sits here. As long as Sate Pestage is the Vizier in Coruscant, there are places in the core, the mid, and the outer rims who will think that the Empire can come back. I want Sate Pestage dead. And if I bring in a squadron of X-Wings to assassinate him, that martyrs him. But if the people rise up, if the people of Coruscant rise up and take him down, the New Republic will have done something truly great, and you will be part of that, and we will not forget. But that's what I want.
And I think Curl slides that big wrench off the table, and he looks over at Charlotte. And he looks back at Venor, and he goes, "Nothing's ever free. We don't get things for free, and we don't like being beholden to anyone." And then I think he kind of waddles off a little bit.
Nice.
I want to use the what Kirill just did to be on the lookout for who's looking at us, like who's watching us.
So nice.
So I'm also going to roll what's going on here with the hope of getting at least a 7 so that I can, spot the person that's watching us.
Can I roll to assist with that?
Absolutely.
Since I was kind of the distraction a little bit. Let's roll that.
Just a +1 now.
So sad.
So I got a 7. +1 is 8. So that's still a +1 to help you.
Okay. Well, that makes it an even roll. So
I'm really curious what's going on for Lynn right now too.
Oof. Ouch.
Is that a bad roll?
Yeah. Got a 4.
Nice. So we'll deal with you in just a second. I want to check in with Lynn Lanid. What is going on for you, Lynn? While all these conversations are going on.
Lynn's kind of listening, and I think I personally am like kind of plumbing the thoughts of, he wants us to rise up. If it comes from us, then the New Republic does something great. And, he's kind of folding over this idea of the path, and are we walking it ourselves, or are we being put upon it by someone else? And I think Lynn, what Lynn wants to know is when Venor mentions killing Sate Pestage, and it seems like with this list of items and stuff, it's Lynn's getting a much more militant and stuff vibe, which he's not necessarily against by any means. But he's looking to Charlotte and trying to understand, are we walking our path, or is this guy like manipulating us? And I think that's where, because Lynn has been manipulated a lot in the past, and he wants to know, did he find the path? Did they find their path, or are they walking someone else's? And I think that's kind of what he's doing. So yeah, I was trying to see. I was wondering if that triggered into my radical faith move. That I'm meditating on a question related to my central tenet, which I believe is mystery. I don't think I have another one. But
do it. That sounds
well.
awesome.
It doesn't. When you take a moment to meditate on a question related to this tenet, your deity will provide an answer through the GM. So yeah, I guess that's. I'm sitting. I'm meditating on the mystery, as it were, of the kind of the machinations of what's going on. Are we walking this path our own? Are we being put upon it? Are we being leveraged, or are we being helped? I guess is the question.
And I think as you contemplate on that question, you realize that the water is cloudy, and the answer is different if you are in the water or above the water. You're being given tools with the hope that you will build something someone else can use, but the way in which you use those tools is your choice.
And kind of getting that answer, I think Lynn looks to Charlotte one more time, and he kind of he speaks up and he says, Charlotte, you are our leader in this, and is this the right path?
What we get on the path will help us illuminate any other paths we may want to take. But for now, I believe this is the path forward. If not, it may not be the path of least resistance, but it is what we need to move.
Lynn nods, it kind of slowly, and he looks back to Venor and he says, you mentioned it, if this thing was to occur, that the New Republic would have done a great thing. I hope you check yourself and realize that it is the voiceless who are doing a great thing. With your help, but it is the voiceless doing.
I understand. And I'm sorry. I care very deeply about trying to bring freedom to the galaxy.
Lynn kind of nods. He accepts his answer for now, and I think he's content with the path they're walking.
Cool. Anything else you guys want from the scene? Because I'm about to answer Rogan's miss. So, Rogan, you're looking around to see if anyone is paying attention, and you recognize Malzef Kendrune, the owner of Viscosity, and he is looking over a data pad. And as you look down, you see that there is a small little metal device, the base of your table. Looks like a recording device. What do you do?
Huh. Well, first of all, I chide myself for choosing the wrong table. And then I realized they're probably all bugged. So, damn, what do I do? I think I'm going to be brutish and stand up and walk over to him and try to take the pad away from him.
Nice. Oh, sweet. I love it. So I think you're trying to, you're not necessarily trying to get rough, right? You're just getting in his face. I think you're trying to sway him. Well, I don't know. You're really doing it by your body and being a brute. Do you have any brute related moves for taking stuff from people who don't want to give it to you?
Well, I one of my brute moves that I don't have is I scared the hell out of people when attempting to sway someone using the threat of force. Add 1 to the roll. So I think you can definitely sway someone with the threat of force.
All right, let's do that. So you snatch it away. It's not a question of can you take a pad away from a guy who didn't realize that you were rolling up on him. But yeah, you snatch the pad away, and let's see if you can sway him with a threat of force, rolling with body.
Actually, also, when you tire of a debate, roll with body to force the issue. On a 10 plus, your opponent must get rough to do what you say.
Enough talk. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's just do that. That move's appropriate here. Let's
yeah, I've not got to roll it yet either, so that's pretty cool.
And I totally know what's going to happen with a miss, and you're not going to like it.
I'm not going to like it. No. So I get to roll force. I don't know if this is the first time, but definitely cool. I get to roll it. Let's see. Enough talk.
Roll with body to force the issue.
Jesus.
Wow, that's an 11. Your opponent must get rough or do what you say. So you snatch it away from him, and he looks up, and he kind of reflexively reaches for a gun that he doesn't have on his belt, and realizing that and seeing your shock bat, there's just a moment of I'm cornered. What do you do, Rogan? What is the demand you put forth with enough talk?
You're going to forget we were here tonight. And you're going to let us out of here without harm.
Of course. Sure.
I'll be finding a new bar. Thanks.
Yeah. I just don't want to be another Setsu, okay? This is my Karking retirement.
People died there because they talked to the wrong people. If you're talking to the wrong people, then you will be another Setsu.
All right. We're clear, friend. We're clear.
And I think I just snap the pad in half and leave it on the bar.
Nice.
And tell everybody that it's time for us to get out of here.
Sweet.
I was still waiting for my drink, but okay, all right.
Rogan, when you come over and you tell them, and Lynn says, I'm still waiting for my drink, you look down and sorry, I was going to mess up the name, and I would rather look it up than do that. Free Wind. And you see that under, she's got like a little bit of a cloak. She had a little holdout blaster, and she was about to go shoot up some suckers if that hadn't gone well.
Nice.
So she just like hides it again.
I love how crazy she is.
Yeah.
So I think whenever we going to go back to the main, to Charlotte and Lynn Lynid's place.
That's where I'd like the next scene if you guys are cool with it. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, I think that once they get back there, I think Curl, does a little report, right? So he sends a message back to Elsa. Esla? Yeah, Esley. And basically mentions contact made with the resistance, will be given supplies, and explicitly mentions the word should be gotten out that viscosity bugs all of their patrons, and everything said there, gets sent back to the authorities. Please broadcast this.
Nice. That is fantastic, and Esley will absolutely. Message received. Thank you, comrade. Winosa. Sweet. So let's talk for a minute. We're going to step out of game. We're going to have a conversation and then probably take our mid-game break afterwards. So I'm going to just screen share so we're all looking at the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, just so we're cool, so in the reference sheet, I think it's in the reference sheet. Yeah. Okay. So we've got some things around the 5 pathways, and the level 5 stuff is where stuff really like happens and we come to end game. We're sitting at session 3 of 4. I think it would be interesting if we were to put 2 different pathways that don't really happily agree with each other near the precipice, as it were, so that when we roll for them, we could potentially be hitting rank 5 in next session. Does that sound interesting to folks? Like, we've already started down Mayhem and Fellowship, and those two are hilariously opposed to me. But there are others as well. And really what Venor was a excuse for us to jumpstart our revolution, because I realize now this is a game that's made for, 8 to 10 sessions, I think. So I'll be quiet.
I like the idea. I mean, just real quick, I think that's going to be a fun thing if we can get ourselves right at the edge and we're not sure which one is going to come up next. Yeah, I like it.
Same. I was also going to vote for Mayhem and Fellowship. Those are like the bizarre, like left-hand path and right-hand path kind of differences.
It's tough. It seems like the only one that's truly opposed to Mayhem. Well, no. Okay, hold on. So if it's organization Mayhem, those are opposed, right? I mean, chaos and order, essentially. I think based off what happened in that bar, it seems like we're getting supplies to do some bombs and stuff like that. Am I wrong on that?
I left it vague so that it applies to help you along any pathway that you as a group.
Okay. See, I took it like fully like this is stuff to assassinate this guy. So that's good to know. So we could use that as leverage basically to say no, it's actually he's going to give us stuff to organize. Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, look, his entire like blackmail folder of mistresses he's had over the past 20 years.
Right. It can be as open as you want. That's why I was trying real hard to keep his offer of what he's giving you relatively vague so that we could jumpstart anything that most interests us as a group.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I kind of actually don't think Mayhem and Fellowship are opposed. I don't think Fellowship's opposed to any of these. It almost seems like Fellowship is a backbone for these other 4 paths, if that makes sense.
I hear you, except Fellowship is like this welcoming in and rising up together. Mayhem is the thing that scares away everyone but those who are dedicated to the cause. That's why I saw them as kind of opposed, like how the public would see it. The public would see Fellowship of like, yeah, let's join in. And Mayhem is like, let's get out of their way. That's where I was thinking the two are quote unquote opposed, but they're not opposed.
Right.
So you're right. It's not the right term.
It's sort of like two different story directions.
Right.
Mayhem would be, bombs are going off all over the world, and Fellowship is, does the group bring, everyone together more?
Yeah, it's the difference between the ending of Fight Club and V for Vendetta, I think.
That's a pretty cool way to put it.
I'm looking further down the paths as well and kind of looking at what we have done or what we've been kind of interested in. And, the Voiceless has a zealotry path, right? Like if your party has a media organ, it becomes hugely popular, allowing you to bring your message to the masses. Demonstrations in support of your party. Like some of these I don't think work. Like organization further down, it's your party is respectable unless your behavior is blatantly illegal. The police tend to leave you alone. Like I just don't see that kind of.
I don't even see that as super interesting for the kind of story we're telling. I think it would be cool for a different Comrades campaign.
Yeah.
And I would actually say the same thing about Force, where it says like during an election, your party may increase its turnout through voter intimidation, violence, and fraud. That doesn't seem like something that the Voiceless would be doing. So I don't think that would be a part of this game.
Yeah.
Right. But I do think that that's there to kind of show the dangers of if you do stuff that raises the force up. Like if you keep doing violent things, all of a sudden parts of your organization are going down that path. And that's one of the really interesting things about Comrades. But we're making choices. So
yeah,
let's make those choices. Mark? What are your thoughts?
I love the idea of having the possibility of one or the other, or possibly, I guess, both, if the roles were right, endings happening. I originally wanted to go with zealotry because of the media organ, but I can't imagine us becoming a sympathetic cause amongst the rich, because the rich are the humans and the humans aren't us. So of the, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry. I'll address. I had a thought on that as well. I'll go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the rich could be the new republic, I suppose. But you know, of the five, Mayhem and Fellowship seem best to me. I like both of the endings presented in Mayhem and Fellowship for the story that we've started. So,
And then Cody, what were you going to say?
Yeah, just for the you become a sympathetic cause among the rich who will fill your coffers with money. I had that same thought and pause, and then my thought would be, well, if we're going down both these paths to this point, I think that also represents a kind of galactic scale of things happening. And the people, who aren't necessarily in power but are wealthy on Coruscant, which is going to be a lot of folks because it's the capital, they can see which way the wind's blowing. And as we know from, The Last Jedi, it's the people, they support whatever cause they want, whichever one makes the money, whichever one's going to get them, more. And so it could I could see that being a thing that's happening very close to the New Republic taking ownership of Coruscant. It's like, oh, we need to just start making these ties now so that in a month our business deals are better, because otherwise we're going to have our stuff revoked. So I'm just saying I could see that being a thing. No, I see here at Fellowship 2 at the end, the kind of final stage is a tightly planned plot to assassinate. That I think that basically Mayhem and Fellowship would be ending the same, one just with a bomb, one's more tightly planned, I suppose, which I think is fun, but it doesn't feel like as much of like two possible choices. It's like they're both kind of the same one, I think.
So whenever I look at the end result for Zealotry, Mayhem, and Fellowship, Fellowship is there's an assassination plot against the head of state. Mayhem is you seize power by driving the populace mad with fear.
That's true.
And Zealotry is you may call for a popular uprising and attempt to seize power by flooding the streets with your supporters. And from that perspective, I would say that the voiceless stands more for Fellowship or Zealotry. And it really depends. The crux is, do we follow the New Republic's intent to assassinate the head of state, or do we go our own way and bring all of the masses up with us?
Yeah, I agree. I think kind of like just having you talk through it now, the thing it made me realize is 100% Zealotry and Fellowship are what the Voiceless is about. But our particular sect has been from the beginning about Mayhem.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting, so doing Mayhem as one, and then I feel like Zealotry, because Zealotry is almost like the good option as opposed to the bad option, right? It's if we did Zealotry, it's like we're appealing to the better, the popular amongst folks, the good vibes, the light side of the force to get them to uprise. Mayhem is sowing fear and going towards the dark side. If I was to think of them as two separate things, whereas, like I said, Fellowship, I feel like is just, it's not drastically different enough. It is, I can see that now looking at it, as you mentioned, it's driving people mad with fear or killing the person, the head of state. It just feels, not drastically different enough to me in a kind of way. And because the way we built the party to be this uplift the masses, the voiceless insurgency, that seems more like the party should be working for this zealot goal, while we in the past, and we don't have to anymore, this is, we could change our preferred approach, but it does feel kind of like, oh, this is what we believe, but this is how we do it. And that is, in opposition in its own way.
So Rich, I have a mechanical question.
Yes.
Let's say, so this is session 3?
It is session 3 of 4, yes.
Okay. So at the end of this session, we will roll, and we're talking about basically advancing these all up to level 4.
Yep.
And then the next question is, what happens if we roll one or the other and succeed in one or the other? It advances, and that kind of shows us the storyline that we're going to go for the revolution. What if we roll neither or both?
If we roll neither, then I think that there will be some serious, like some kind of cataclysm or some event that has caused you guys, like taking you off track.
Perfect.
or in like an interrupt. It won't be a
Or
stalling out. And if you have
Mhm.
both, then I'm going to try to push hard on both and force choices that maybe on an individual level you guys go different paths.
Fantastic. That makes sense.
also, if we get to roll the end of the fourth session, there can be an epilogue. If we happen to hit one of them on the end of the fourth session.
True.
That's true. That's true.
So if we don't roll either, there could be a cataclysm that we try to overcome, and then we roll again at the end of the fourth session, and maybe that's how we drive the epilogue. That's a good point. Okay.
Cool. All right. So let's try to lock it in on what you guys like. It sounds like Zealotry, Mayhem, and Fellowship are the three that folks are most interested in. Do we want to advance all three? Like, I'm open to that if that's something that
I think
intrigues
Zealotry and Fellowship would be the best from what we've discussed.
Okay, so Zealotry, Fellowship. Steven, what about you? What were you thinking?
It's I don't know. I struggle with that. It's between those three, but I couldn't say which one.
Are we each just picking two and then seeing what has the most votes and doing those two?
Yeah.
I was just off the cuff about to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that at the very least we can do that, and if it's a tie, then we'll know we're very split. But I think that's a good way to also represent the fact that
vote. So the guys,
yes,
I'm sorry.
Let's
If
secret
you want
vote.
to change your mind,
Yeah.
you can change your mind. We'll just you guys message me here in the thing. You can just do a drop down from the to everyone to me and just tell me your two favorite.
I just feel like this also represents, this disparate factions within a party.
I know we're
trying to push
metagaming
things.
it in a kind of really cool way. And I'm sorry, Sawyer, that I came up with a plan after I talked to you. I feel bad about that.
So you should totally send a private message to Rich and feel free to change your answers.
Yeah, that's true.
You said I haven't.
What time does our session end today?
It ends in an hour and a half, so we're about to take our mid-game break. You guys want to go ahead? We're at 33. Let's take like 7 minutes. We'll meet at 20 till, and I'll calculate and move things up. Talk to you guys in a bit.
Sounds good.
Rich, I wanted to say thank you. I see where you went in and put in the little nanny bot.
Uh-huh.
You did a great editing job because in the picture that exists, it's super creepy and meant to be
I
like.
know, it's like I need to decreepify that.
You did a great job. I did. At first
Thanks.
I didn't even notice, and then I was like, wait a second. It is really creepy. Maybe that was the wrong picture to take. No, Rich fixed that. He took out the little saw and yeah. That's fantastic.
Good. I'm glad. Yay. I'm glad that worked out because I was like, oh, I'm not putting that picture up. Holy crap. That's like a nightmare bot.
Mhm. So yeah. It's interesting. I've got a setting left over from another game where you hide non-video participants. So whenever I'm used to in Zoom where people whenever they hide their thing, the screen just kind of goes blank. But now people pop on and off the screen.
Yeah. I don't know if I love the like not even it's like the non-presence just because you don't have video. I don't know. I don't love that.
The other game that I was playing, they needed to enforce that so that everyone only saw the speaker's view. So they had everyone go on non-video and then turned off the non-video participants.
What were they playing?
Have you ever heard of True Dungeon?
Yes, I have heard of True Dungeon. Like at cons, like at Gen Con?
Yeah, it's
Was this a Gen Con online thing or?
Well, basically True Dungeon is a puzzle room, physical space kind of thing. I never imagined that they could do it virtually, but they've been doing it virtually since July, I think. And it's about once a month, 1 week in a month. And I think it was 1 week or 2 weeks ago that I played in a version, and basically they do it all through Zoom. But the story is that you have a golem that goes through the dungeon for you with like a little camera, and they interact with everything for you. So all the participants have to turn off their video, and then they lock in just the golem's video so everyone sees the same thing.
Ha! That's pretty clever.
It is. I was really surprised. Like the things that during doing everything virtually, it was like there's no way they'll be able to do a puzzle room kind of thing virtually, right? That's just a video game. But they've done a really good job. So it's like that's crazy.
That's great. Boy, I just love the creativity of us nerds and like, nope, I'm gonna get my play on, and this is how I'm gonna shape things to make it go. Fantastic. All right. It turns out via secret ballot that zealotry and mayhem are the two pathways that were chosen by popular vote. It was close, friends. Fellowship nearly happened, but something happened to break the fellowship. I don't know. Let's blame Boromir. Anyway, oh my goodness. About to cook with gas because I got a Diet Pepsi. Oh, it almost overflowed. Oh no. So let's take a quick look just to make sure we're all on the same page with the benefits of your choices as a group. Your supporters everywhere in any setting in which NPCs are not clearly aligned with another faction, a good number support you. If your party has a media organ, it becomes hugely popular, allowing you to bring your message to the masses. Demonstrations in support of your party happen regularly and with great fanfare. You become a sympathetic cause among the rich who fill your coffers with money. Mayhem. Your party institutes basic explosives training, allowing all comrades to handle a bomb without blowing themselves up. When you require explosives or other weapons of indiscriminate destruction, you can get them that day. Your party knows how to use weapons for maximum effect. When you plant a bomb or rake a sidewalk with machine gun fire, the casualties are horrifying. And if you wish to assassinate someone important, but who is not the head of state, you can get close enough to plant a bomb or take a shot at them. So, with that in mind, I'd like to hard frame a scene First, let me show you a quick picture of an NPC. Madam Director Isard, I'm not sure how you would say it, the Director of Imperial Intelligence who served during the Galactic Civil War. She is a person who just recently cracked down on a wing of the Voiceless. She, using the ISB, because she is the Imperial Intelligence Security Bureau head, used the ISB to ferret out a number of the larger part of the Voiceless. Now, the question is, and I'll ask Lynn Lanid because you saw it coming in a dream last night. Who was arrested and then summarily executed? Was it Riaka Maddox? Was it Esley Terra? Or was it Chinchinsis, the Rhodian who you guys saved?
Who's the first one again? I'm sorry.
Riaka Maddox, who's the boss of the Ebon Diamond Casino, and she was the first of the wealthy patrons that you guys have gathered a number of now, who backed the Voiceless.
I think it's got to be Esley. I think it would be the biggest blow aside from the financing. It's the most public person. Yeah. And it's literally cutting off our voice. So,
And the way in which all of you find out about this is a broadcast over. Like we hear the music pick up, the swelling music. It's a new broadcast of the Voiceless. And Lynn, you knew what happened. Have you told anyone besides Charlotte about what you saw in your dream?
I actually don't think I even told Charlotte. In recent time, Lynn he's a little bit more timid about his potential and his place, and he feels that he is now walking her path rather than they all walking his, and that he understands that he's okay, but I think he's kind of consciously detaching himself a little bit from it spiritually. He's still in the cause, but I think he's realizing that the path he thought he was on it, he's not quite on. And given one of the last times he tried to help with his mysticism, it was rebuffed. I think he thinks his mysticism, his powers are a little bit unwanted at the moment. So he doesn't bring it up to anybody beforehand.
Okay.
Perhaps hoping that perhaps he got this one wrong. It's been known to happen. But he kind of waits for it to happen all at once. Lest he be branded a person who knew about it and didn't do anything to stop it.
Cool. So, and just to be clear, friends, this rise wasn't like happened over a few days. I think we've got like a montage of several things that have happened. Everyone's healed of all harm. So go ahead and take care of that because enough time has passed. And through fits and starts, your pathways of zealotry and mayhem have grown to the point now where you are on the precipice of a true revolution. Stephen, did you have something?
Oh, I didn't know I unmuted.
Oh, you unmuted, so I thought there was a thing.
Actually, if you don't mind, narratively, I'm going to say that Curl, just to show the passes of time, probably has a couple of scars and wounds, and basically has lost probably part of his arm, and he's replaced it with one of those cybernetic, things that we see. But it's not a good one like we see in the movies. It's like this claw kind of thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Should we give everybody an advance? I think that sounds good. Everybody take an advance to show that the months have passed, because this is fun. Like we're getting near end game. So if we
you think it's months or is it years?
I think months.
Months? Okay.
I think months. I think it's a thing that like built up really quick, like a tsunami. And remember, the advances are down at the bottom. They don't have to be taking new moves. You can boost stats, whatever you want. But go ahead, keep your XP where it is. Don't max it out, but go ahead and take another advance. So Yeah, I think during the montage, Charlotte, what have we seen happen to your gang over the growth here? What do we see
I
through their
think
changes?
part of it was that like the reason we went down this zealotry path, the reason we have so many people promoting us is that we focus the art into ways that would appeal to people. Like there still are like rebellions and things like that. Like you can, but like this is, the art is so real because we go out and we live it. Like we go out and make our experiences. We don't just like this isn't like this would be the like the Vice photographers kind of art, but you know, painted that you can have in your room. So the rich people can feel like they're actually supporting a cause while not actually being in the minefield.
Oh God, like you guys create art, pick through the detritus of and the rubble of what was bombed.
And like you know someone like some like real edge lord kid has like a stormtrooper sculpture in his closet, or like in like the secret nerd hangout room in his place.
Oh God, I love hate that guy. Sweet. And then what have we seen for? I'm gonna ask Mark. I'm gonna ask two questions. Number one, what has changed for Rogan? Is it him or um, some of his connections, like perhaps Chidero or Mena, his cousin? So that's question one. And then question two is, what is the most horrific act we have seen from Free Wind during this? You talking on mute, Mark?
Wrote myself a novel there. You were saying with the first questions, what has changed with my contacts?
Yeah, with the people that are close to you, like the fellow students, or perhaps your relationship with your family. Like, what have we seen that has been changed irrevocably during this rise of the revolution? Does that question make sense?
Yeah. I think the answer to that is that Rogan has, for the most part, only interacts with his chosen family now. He's become so dedicated to the cause that he doesn't feel connected to his family anymore, with the exception of his cousin. And I think she did. She went out when she wasn't supposed to, and she got caught. And so I led a really bloody response to that, to go get her. And what's her name? Free
Wind.
Free Wind. I think and this is getting a little too close to me. So I'll
You don't
say
have to. We can.
No. It's just what all with what's going on in the world, and then watching things like Handmaid's Tale and stuff like that. It's just been we're getting really close to that too. I think she ended up like throwing some stormtroopers over a bridge with a rope, and like she hung some stormtroopers. So
hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And remember, the safe tools are there, so I don't want you to.
Sure.
If it cuts too deep, it's okay. We'll back off. Okay, sweet. Thank you very much. Boy, that's pretty. Hung stormtroopers. That is definitely something that ended up in some edgelord's piece of art that Charlotte's crew created. Carol, I know that we've seen what you've lost during the time. So I think we start with that, right? That's the first image that we see after we see the huge montage of the growing revolution. And so it's your face, and of course you're the one who doesn't get a flutter when the broadcast begins. The music starts, swells up, and you know that Esley's channel is about to go live, and the people who are there, maybe there's one person who is new to the group, and Freewind is standing over their shoulders. They're at a table and they're like putting together a bomb, and Freewind's telling them like, this is what you got to do and all that kind of stuff. And then after the music, we hear the broadcast will be slightly different today. The rebellion here, the terrorism here on Coruscant will now come to an end. You are not voiceless, you are misled. You are not powerless, you are protected. Esley Terra, the insurgent, has been terminated. This broadcast of lies will come to an end. All of you who are listening here, who are being lawless, who are killing our businesses, our property, all of you listen closely. Vizier Sate Pestage is your law and your order. This sedition will end. You're being broken. It is only my hope that you will listen to reason and stop what you are doing. The revolution has been cancelled, as has this show. And then the music begins, fades off, and ends up with like a crackle. Lynn, you knew. And it's true. What do you do?
I think he looks to Shar, and he comes to you and says, I saw that was going to happen last night in a dream, and it appears my pathfinding, my visions are becoming stronger. But what do we do? Now's not the time for that. Now's the time for action, isn't it?
Why have you consistently come to ask me what to do?
Char, I feel that you are the leader. You lead us on the path where I have found it. And I believe that we have found the path together. But you don't need me anymore. You don't need me to tell you where it is we go. We already know the destination of this journey. It's up to you to take us and all of us here safely along with you. It's not for me to lead. It's for me to chart and scout and find. And I think I'm beginning to realize that, Char.
Oh, damn. Do you think we're sharing an intimate moment?
I think so. I forgot that's a move. Yeah, let's do that. How does that work? Do we both roll on that?
You roll a
I
bond.
roll
I
with
think
bond.
you were doing it. Yeah,
Okay.
I think you were doing it.
I think my bond
Sorry,
is...
I should have jumped in. I thought you guys were about to roll dice.
No,
yes,
you're good.
So you need to roll with the bond you have on Charlotte.
All right, here comes +1. 10.
Sweet.
Nice. So on a 10 plus, you get 2 from 2 choices. Yes.
And
2
we don't
from the
need
list.
we don't need to heal any harm. So I'm going to add a bond with Char. So it's going from a 1 to a 2, and then I'm going to carry 1 ongoing while acting as a team, or we both do, I believe, or maybe just me.
Yes. When you're acting as a team, you both carry 1 ongoing.
Nice. And I think there's a small tear coming to her eye that stereotype of the strong person crying, and she I think like she like opens up her whatever covering she has up top and reveals her, like, you know, this would be the flashy reveal if she was not a Gamorrean, but she turns around and she has like a new back piece, which is I think like like the path you described walking on your home world. Like she's just like has like the, or like it's like a pathway on her back. And
Lynn gasps.
Wow.
And like, you know, I think you can see like she's been doing a lot of different mods since this has come on. There's new scars, all that wonderful stuff, and she turns around, hugs Lynn, and it's like, I will see you to the end of this path, even if it is the one that only I will end up walking. But I'm grateful for you showing me the way. And oh God, what would she think of this time? And they want to take away our voice. I say we scream back at them even louder.
I think Free Wind will come up to you, Rogan, saying, "Let's kill her. She killed Esley. Let's kill her. She has to go." And around you, you hear people. They're weeping. They're openly weeping. They're struck, shocked. You're buoyed up on hope, and they're trying to snatch it away from you. Carol, you overhear Free Wind. She's not subtle.
So I think whenever the broadcast kind of ended and went back to static, Curl took that great big wrench that we saw in the last scene and hurls it and smashes, like it's sticking out of the radio right now, and there's sparks and stuff.
Nice.
Super uncharacteristic, right? He's usually like repairing things and super like,
He
let's
takes
just
care
get
of
the
his
job
tools.
done, right? And now we're like, you know, and he's just kind of fuming. And the reason he heard Free Wind is he was pacing back and forth, muttering a little bit to himself. And I think that, you know, he stops whenever he hears Free Wind say it and kind of nods along to Rogan.
I think it's more than that, Free Wind. I think she needs to get back on the air and take back everything she said. And then we'll give her the same choice she gave Elsie, which was none at all.
Okay.
So I'm proposing that we not only do we get our radio station back up, but we kidnap the ISB agent, the ISB head, the woman whose name I can't remember, and we make her recant. We make her take back the things that she said.
That's wicked.
Isard.
I'm sticking her in the NPCs right now.
Okay. All I can hear in my head is insane. And I'm just like, that's not her name. It's something else. Is Sane Izzard? Is Sane Isard?
I don't know. Like we can just call her Director Isard. We can. I was thinking Isard.
Isan. Okay. Isan, Isard.
Nissan's pretty cool. Yeah, like Nissan. I'm into that. That sounds actually better than Isane. So thank you for that, Sawyer. Appreciate that. Cool. So Freeman says, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Carol, can you get us in?
I can get us close. I'll make some calls and call in some favors, and it will cost, but I think we can get very close. We might have to punch through the last few areas because we haven't hit anything this big before.
We need to hit them in their ego. I'll prepare a gift for them. The old tactics sometimes prove the easiest.
Cool. So you guys, a number of your gang, Charlotte, will be inquiring, like, how can we help? What do you need for the gift?
I think she'll just ask for some finishing touches, and she has like probably a few paintings that are those every artist's bread and butter. Those like a kitten playing with a flower, or a droid so like fixing a speeder, like the Americana kind of cheap paintings. But like this is like some kind of like probably mural from the Empire's times, and just like put in some flourishes to make it look like it's done some. It's not Empire paint by numbers set number 5. Like just add some flash to it. Yeah, we're gonna present a painting to her in honor of her taking out Esley, of course.
Oh, nice. So we've got Kirill thinks that you guys can probably bribe your way in, and then we've got the plan from Charlotte. How do you guys want to proceed? Do we want to go along two fronts? Are you splitting the party?
Well, I mean, we have money. Okay, I was just gonna say we have money. We can get outfits to wear to look like we're part of stuff, but in the end, like we're gonna stand out like a sore thumb, like we're aliens in a
Oh yeah,
world.
you're definitely gonna look weird.
That's what I think. At least like if we're going to split the party, it makes sense. The artistic Gamorrean and her translator going in one direction, and then like the people bribing their way to the underbellies to set up bombs or other things as another side we could do.
If I'm not mistaken, the rich people believe in our cause. Is that one of the things?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the rich are contributing money to you guys. Yes.
Would they also? So here's an option. Would it be possible to call one of them in, and say we need access? Can you get us close? And basically, they take us in as like Charlotte could be playing a bodyguard. Lin Linid could be the advisor. And they could be the one that get us access. Is that too far for giving us money?
I don't think so.
I think that ties well anyways with our level 4 mayhem, which is if we wish to assassinate someone important, but who is not the head of state, we can get close enough to plant a bomb or take a shot at them. Yes. So, I mean, both of those things kind of feed into each other pretty handily.
Yeah. So I think, and there's still that feeling of, we owe the person who's getting us in there, and they're not a voiceless, right? They have a voice, and that's why we got in there.
Nice. I'm into this. You guys into this? Cool. So, the lot of you taking two paths, but basically, You've traded some favors. So you're good. Like based on your pathway, you can get close. Like we're not even having a sway roll. That's a thing you can do now. The point where I think we kind of drop in, it's like we're doing an engagement roll in Place in the Dark or something. The part we drop in is Charlotte and Lynn. You're the translator. Is that right?
I think I was equal parts translator or advisor, depending which plane we're going on. But regardless, I'm somebody nearby who is helpful.
Okay.
I want to add a detail in, if I could.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who, but the audience sees like a silhouette of someone, and they're informing the New Republic of what we're doing.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, and it could be any of us, or it could be an NPC or whatever. I wanted that little wrinkle to be added into it.
Yes, with my willowy silhouette, I could be anyone.
It's true. It's easy to forget.
I think what we probably see off screen is like a communicator, and we see a gloved hand with that communicator, and it lights up in the ISB, and then we hear a muffled voice, a voice changer that says, this is where they're going to hit them.
Oh yeah. So we pick up with Shar arriving as the big artist. You've got some of the art you were bringing along, and walk out of a Twillis. Oh yeah, that's. Do you? So yeah, this is an important question, I think. Do you bring Freewind along, or is she with the bomb crew that's going to try to?
Oh, I think she has to come along. I mean, we're going to be taking trophies from Isan, so.
And you end up heading into, like, this is an Imperial. You have not been to anything quite this heavily guarded. You pass by a number of stormtroopers. You get your idents checked multiple times. You end up going up, one of those elevators, just like on the outside, right, glass, and you can see Coruscant stretching out before you go heading up higher, and of course we'll pause. There's like Charlotte, Linlanid, and Freewind there on the lift. Is there anything that you say, Lynn? Is there anything you want to do before this becomes irrevocable?
I just had a thought, Char. We could have just invited them to a party or something, but he wipes the sweat from his head. But no, that's that.
I think she'll just place a hand on his shoulder and just start repeating the same kind of mantra that he had taught her all those many years ago. And just trying to keep him calm and straight on this path.
And when you reach the top of the elevator, it opens up and you see this spacious, luxurious apartment. You hear music. There are several art pieces, Charlotte, from before you were creating rebellious artifacts. You recognize your own work. And you see that Isan is relaxed. She's not dressed down, but definitely not dressed in uniform. And you also see, Charlotte, that she has a servant. A servant who is wearing a collar around his neck, and it is your brother.
Lovely. I knew this was going to happen.
And she has this, wine in a glass. So my friends told me that you wished to present me with some kind of gift. Is that right?
Scree honk, scree honk, grunt, grunt, scree pig.
Yes, you see, the illustrious artiste here wishes to gift you with a wonderful piece to complement your collection.
I already have so many wonderful pieces. What do you think of my Gamorrean?
And are you asking me or the? I'm sorry, I don't know much about
You speak the
what
language,
squeak
just
squeak
don't
scree
know.
honk scree honk scree honk honk scree.
And she will walk up. I think to start inspecting her brother like he was on like a hook. And
Oh, he looks angry.
she is. I think she actually just like has this like this to her is like getting back at all the times he would like mess up with the droids back in the day and all those pranks he would pull. And just at the end, middling but good for human eye.
Now show me what you wish to give me, and be slow and deliberate about it.
I think just we end up like stripping this painting like it is a stripper, just slowly pulling off the cloth.
Barrett, real quick question: Do we have anything like on the back of this painting? Like, did we bring a gun or something stuck in the frame just in case?
Oh, of course. There's got to be like there's got to be
checking.
something in the back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's hot. That's hot. So she steps up and comes over and kind of runs her hand along the oil painted canvas. This is not bad. I'm sure this will make a nice piece for my collection. I'm surprised that you have such depth of emotion, Gamorrean. Your kind are usually so brutish, clumsy.
Oh dear. Well, I believe I'm going to lead off by having spoken to Dorok some in Gamorrean. That head was not translated, I assume, and she's not showing sign. Well, long story short, I want to know what's going on. I want to read my foe in the room and see what can be best be done with it.
Okay, you should do that thing.
Oh, whew! I have modifiers. That is one question. So,
Okay. And based on your artistic thing, you can ask whatever you like.
Is she expecting violence?
She is absolutely expecting violence. You think that she is confident that she will be capturing more members of the rebellion right now.
And I think Charlotte will show kind of a just a worried sound when the hand touches the painting, and try to get Isan's attention. Give Linlinid the chance to unstrap the weapon from the back and begin this, because if she's expecting violence, we might as well give it to her.
Nice. And so as you guys start this coordinated action, she quickly draws out a blaster and stuns Free Wind. She drops to the ground, and now she's holding this weapon, and she turns it on the two of you. What exactly did you expect to accomplish here? Did you think I didn't know who you truly are?
Ooh, and now I get to.
And the end says, oh, and before you do anything, if I die, she points to your brother. He dies. She shows this like little device that's implanted in her wrist, and then it's like a little blinking thing, and then there's this little blinking thing on the collar of Duroc, your brother.
This is a perfect time for me to use my newest move, Fight Song. As I think Charlotte begins to laugh, but like it's a deep kind of like throaty laugh as she's getting her modified vocal cords to speak the general tongue again. I don't care about this painting. I don't care that you have my worst of 7 brothers. You've picked a poor shield, even one made of so much meat. No, you see, I am on the correct pathway. I am on the path laid bare before me by my mentor, my guru, my master, Lin Lanid, who has shown me everything that I must do, which includes being a distraction for one as petty as you. And I will now roll Bond to see if I can make Lin Lanid do even better in battle than normal.
Yes.
So let me get this correct.
We of course hear a couple of guttural grunts from the Gamorrean as he's being told, as you were saying, he's the worst of the brothers and he's expendable.
And we're also working in it as a team, so yay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so
I got a 13.
Holy crap.
So I get to pick 2, I believe. Lin Lanid gains speed and will take less harm until the deed is done. I assume the deed is Isan's life or freedom being taken.
I think the plan was to make Isan recant, so I'm curious how this is going to go.
I mean, he's going to be very fast and not take much harm on trying to make her recant, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so cool.
All right, Guru, what do you want to do?
Yeah, so as Charlotte, does all of this, and I'm translating for her to Asane, and then I can see Asane hearing the words from me, then looking to Char, and when that happens, I reach behind the painting and grab out the holdout blaster and draw on her.
You're acting with speed, so she's not prepared for that.
And it is time that you realize you have stepped off the path, and you need to get everyone back on there. Do you have the communicator here still? The comms unit? You can make a speech, correct?
Of course, I can make a speech, but will I? The answer is no.
No, the answer will be yes, as you'll shortly see. Now, what was the plan? Out of character, obviously. Kirill, Rogan, you guys were off somewhere to bomb something, I believe. What?
I think the plan was that they were going to be support for the very obvious Imperial response that will come.
Okay. Well, in that case,
one thing that I was thinking though was also was us being at Elsie's station, ready to receive the communication so that we could broadcast it out from on the radio or whatever.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
Or at least one of us would be.
Actually, if you want to do that from here, we could do one of those things where flashback, we see Curl working on Esley's station, and then working up on the roof to connect up like a transmitter. So if you want to be on site, Rogan, then
I like on site. I think that sounds fun. That's a really good suggestion, I think. You okay with that?
So you
Rogan?
want me to be on site at Asley's station or on site with Isan? Just making sure I understand.
The second one, I think it's knowing that we were going to do a transmission. That was all prepared ahead of time so that everyone can be on the distraction or blow up or mission. Cool. In that case, So Lynn, draws on her and he says, it doesn't matter if you think you're not going to do it, because you're going to do it. And it doesn't matter if you think that you're lying, because people will know that we got to you. And that is good enough for us, to be quite honest. Shar, would you like to draw your weapon as well?
I think I'm going to provoke the issue. I'm going to bum rush. He's saying she's going to shoot one of us.
Yeah.
All right. Love it.
I think you are getting rough.
Yeah, and I'm acting in concert with Lynn, so
that's true.
It's a flat 0. This is going to be fun. It is not going to be fun. That is a 6. Unless I am aided by
Unless you get some aid.
Well, I gotta aid you, right? As soon as I see you going for her, I want to pop a shot on her to show I mean business. I'm not trying to kill her by any means. We need her to say a speech, but I'm gonna fire on her, try and disarm her. I almost took that soldier move, marksman. I should have done it. All right. So firing is getting
this
rough.
This is a bond. You would be rolling.
Right, because it's because I'm 8. I'm sorry.
Help or hinder. So you roll with your bond that you have with Charlotte.
Yay!
All right. Come on, fail. Good luck.
13.
Oh.
Wow.
Powerful
so
stuff.
Pushes you to on get rough to a 7 to 9. Deal harm and pick 1.
I take no harm.
Sweet. And what were you attacking her with?
My tusks.
Oh, snap. Right. So you tackle forward and she draws and somehow you move faster. She's already drawn, but before she's able to fire upon you, it kind of fires out of the way and then you tusk and gore her.
I think I was biting her hand to make her drop the blaster.
Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah. You bite the hand, it drops the blaster. She cries out in pain. And it's bloody. It's brutal, right? You've tusked her. You've bitten her hand. It's Star Wars, right? So I think we have like there's no hand. Like you bit it off because you're freaking Gamorrean.
I think there's there's that scene spitting it out where we see the hand holding the blaster on the floor, and Charlotte turns to Issa and it's like, you will be speaking in more than screams. And in one way or another, one way or another, you'll be telling them what we want you to hear, in pain or in prose.
Nice. I think then you are trying to sway her, because I don't think you have another way to do that. Yeah. So.
Well, actually. Do we want to heal her first to show her that we're? Oh, damn!
May I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Since you're a tattoo artist, I'd love to see you kind of tattoo her, so that whenever her broadcast goes out, there's some evident image of what's happening.
Oh, yeah. Can I? Yes. Then I think that while Lynn is bandaging the hand up, I will be tattooing her and making extra certain that I'm doing, I guess, interesting. Oh God, this is basically are we all cool with this? This prison tattoo kind of idea of maybe it's just Winosa on her face.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, I'll just be politely reminding her that the pain coming from tattoo needles is nothing compared to what I can do, and while I am mostly a vegetarian, I will make some course changes if need be.
Wow. So while this is going on, when you hear the screams, we cut up to maybe the like broadcast antenna there at the top of this high-rise area where Rogan is laying in wait for the broadcast. Rogan, maybe there's like a planted cam of some kind, so you're able to see what's going on. The couple TIE fighters in formation, not attacking, but just like in patrol, zip past, and you're hidden away. What do we see as Rogan's reaction to this?
Um, hmm. Oh, hold on for a second. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I gotta
Cool.
step
No,
away.
no, we'll cut. I know that Mark actually had to leave a little bit early, so we'll jump to Steven. So Steven, as the worker, where is it that you have hidden out? Like, where are you while this is going on?
Yeah, so I think Curl is actually there on the rooftop, or is with Rogan wherever he is, and is kind of working on stuff for a little bit. And you see him kind of working on the electronics and the security system to keep it suppressed while the stuff that's going on downstairs goes on. And I think whenever we see more about what's going on downstairs, if Rogan's okay with it, he's going to go downstairs and enter the room and start working on Durok's collar. Right?
Ooh,
To see if he
nice.
can potentially get it off.
Oh, cool. You're good with your hands, so let's see how you can alter this thing.
Okay. So let's see. That is with.
Yeah, and he comes to you and he's like, "Oh, please, please, please."
That is with mind. Yeah,
it is.
Okay, so I've got a +1. I rolled an 8, so that's a 9.
Okay.
So that means I pick one thing. It can't be trusted. It's too dangerous or it's too powerful.
Yep.
Let's say it's too powerful. What would that mean?
So we could say that it's too powerful in
How about pulling it off stuns both of us?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay.
There's like a discharge, I'm thinking, yeah, I've got this off, and I make the last little click, and as it splits open, there's this static that, we can see this electricity ripple up his face, and I'm kind of caught with it as well, and the two of us drop to the ground kind of smoldering a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, and we'll say that's not just a stun, like it's an actual electric shock. Let's give you one harm.
Perfect.
And Durok will also get that. Meanwhile, with Rogan up top, watching over things.
Yeah. So I think for Rogan, he's flashing back to a conversation with his cousin who, after she was rescued the last time, like split off from the group and said, she told me that I've gone too far, and my respect for life is so diminished that she doesn't want to be a part of what we're doing. And he's watching the brutality in front of him, and he wonders what it is he was even asking for when he said that she must recant what she said. He spoke without thinking. So I think he's having doubts. I think he's having second thoughts. He's wondering if people are more brutal than him at this point, and what it all means. Because he's brooding. It says so on my character sheet. So
I mean, as if you need a character sheet to tell you such things, but okay.
That's my character in every game. So yeah. So the TIE fighters fly by.
Mm-hmm.
Do I hear Curl cry out with the electrical discharge or whatever.
Yeah, and I was imagining that like maybe there was like a little cam drone of some kind so you could see what's going on, because I just hate the idea of a player character not being able to be involved in a pretty important scene.
I
So-
imagine that basically whenever I was with Rogan, Curl had like the security display up, and so you can see the security display cameras and see what's
Okay.
going on. But on top of that is the feed that I'm sending back to security that just shows like a loop of Lynn Lynyd and Charlotte talking to her name. Isard? Isard.
Yeah.
Oh, what if the people that were putting money in our coffers were wanting to actually see what we do? What if the drone is there so that we can record
The
what-
revolution will be televised? Is that what we're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. I think the point of all of this is to sate some bloodlust on the behalf of the rich people. Yeah. So I'm just involved with like keeping the drone doing what it's doing and making sure it broadcasts and all. So I just see myself in a technician point, and I don't mind being a little bit less important in this scene. That's fun.
Cool. Thank you. We cut back to Charlotte as she's like on the S of Winosa. Freewind at this point has woken up, and she just casually walks over and steps on the stump of Isard's arm. And then kicks her.
Hold on. We're still finishing here. You don't want to ruin the S and the A.
You may want to. I got a 6 this way.
Oh yeah. So she spits out hatefully the director Isard. She says, "Look at a cybernetic replacement, and this blemish will be removed, but you will be wiped from the face of Coruscant. Gods!" And then the doors open and stormtroopers come into the room immediately. Freewind is, I don't know, what would Freewind do? Because you guys had the gun, which you have. She had a blaster. Oh yeah, she's gonna step on and pry that blaster out of the dead hand, and she's gonna start firing at the stormtroopers. Charlotte, you are kneeling over the director, about to finish the A, and Lynn Lynyd, I think you were standing near. Maybe you had the communicator to try to force her to give out the broadcast when 3 stormtroopers come in. None of them hit their heads on the door, just so we're clear.
These are specialists, is what you're
They're
saying.
not death troopers, but
Hey, these are the legionnaires, the exceptional ones.
I mean, we got to start firing, right? I mean, it means the security didn't work like we wanted it to. If we have a security drone,
oh, Carol, you're here. You came to but
Yeah.
you got knocked out. That's right. So you're not quite awake, but you'll be waking up momentarily. You hear the thunderous sound of the stormtrooper. Stormtrooper? What is that? That's not even words. Rich, catch up. And they say,
"Drop to the floor, rebel scum!"
so, Charlotte, you're the one who failed the roll, so I'll ask you, what do you do?
I pick up my meat shield and use her as a shield. She may only have one arm, but she's worth more to them alive than dead.
Oh, nice. Sweet. What is that? Is that a sway?
I don't know if it's a
take
move.
a risk. I think you're
Yes,
taking a risk. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
roll with
fair.
spirit. You're taking a mad risk for the revolution here. You're working as a team still, so don't
Good,
forget that.
because that's a 7 then.
Sweet. On a 7 to 9, your risk pays off, kind of. You do not get shot because she does.
Okay.
So she lets out a scream, and one of the stormtroopers says, I love this because this.
I can take her.
And then he unfortunately shoots the director because he's still a stormtrooper. But it's like he hits her in the shoulder, but yeah, it was not quite over the shoulder and hitting the huge Gamorrean that was hulking behind the target. And then she screams out in pain, and you think maybe she's dead because blasters. Lynn Lanid, what are you doing after you see one of them shoot the director?
Yeah, I'm Lynn. You know, the months that he's been in the revolution, he's become a bit more ready to violence. And now that he's got that fight song in his heart, he's inspired hearing the words that Charlotte thinks of him and the path that they've walked together. He's going to kind of like dive behind either a piece of art. Preferably, he's going to dive behind, try and get cover behind a desk. Since Charlotte has Isane Assard in front of her, he needs to get cover and fire at some stormtroopers to at least clear the door for their next stage of the plan. So,
okay, cool. Go ahead and get rough.
I'm gonna get rough, and I have it's body, so I have -1 to that because I'm a hero. That's what I do.
Nice. -1. Appropriate. But you get +1 from acting as a team with Charlotte.
Yep, you're totally right. I got to remember these things.
So you're rolling flat.
One flat. 7. Take it.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, you deal harm and pick 1. You also get a second option. Let's see. What was the other option that Charlotte had given you? It was,
I take less damage.
You're going to take less harm.
So I'm already taking less damage, and I'm moving quickly from the fight song. So I'm going to choose to deal great damage and I guess I'll choose to take no harm because I get behind the cover that I'm looking for. That's
well, hold on. Like you okay. So you're going to swap
excuse me. I'm just picking 1. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just do great harm.
Nice. You kill one of the stormtroopers, and he shoots at you. It blasts apart Blaster, if you remember from original trilogy. Those things were terrifying. Blasts apart the desk, and you take less harm. So you're just going to take 1 harm from this because desk and Charlotte's advantage that effectively ate up 2 of the 3 harm. But you shoot that stormtrooper right in the head, like it kind of fires through the black glass of his helmet, and he falls to the ground. And yeah, so that's pretty nasty. Carol, you start to wake up as you hear the sound of blaster fire. Rogan, you also hear this, but Carol, you're starting to wake up. What do you do?
So I think Curl, is kind of hazy. He sees this smoke from blaster fire. He sees the choker there in front of him, and he sees one of the stormtroopers blast again, what's her name? Yasan.
Yeah.
And he hops up with the choker and he snaps the choker around one of the stormtroopers. Actually, he probably can't reach that high. I'd say he probably just puts it slaps it on the back of the armor.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. That is pretty great. Let's have you take a risk then.
Yeah, perfect. And what would that be with?
It's with spirit.
Spirit. Okay.
And your spirit is a -1. Holy crap.
Rolled a 7, -1 is a 6.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So you slap it around his back right as Izard passes, and you had taken off the collar, but it was still dangerous, right? So it's still armed. And then the explosion on it's a shaped charge, so it effectively cuts this stormtrooper in half. It would have kind of just beheaded Durok. It's a relatively shaped charge, but it's the point where I think there's some blowback for Carol, and you take 2 harm from the explosion. It knocks you to the ground. You're getting knocked all around. This is not good for you. Ugnaughts are not made for a close combat.
Right, and I think we actually see that cheap droid arm that he has is like all mangled.
Oh, nice. That
all
sounds
sorts
awesome.
of messed up.
Awesome. And then yes, this was coming, but I wanted to like let PCs. But then Duroc has rolled to his feet and boom, 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 slammed into one of the stormtroopers, and then knocks him to the ground, grabs him by an ankle, and throws him, and he slams into the glass that like overlooks all of Coruscant, and it cracks and spider cracks, and the stormtrooper falls to the ground. Rogan, you heard over the comms as you were keeping kind of overwatch that she had called for backup, and you're hearing that call like there are more coming. You know that this has gone kind of pear-shaped. What do you do, Rogan?
I'm gonna tell, like, on our communicators. I'm sure we have like a communicator that can talk to people.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are in a
Yeah.
feed. All you have to do is point your ear. It's like the Avengers.
Okay, cool. I'm like, plan B. And plan B is to detonate the entire apartment. So plan B means get the hell out of where you are.
I love that. The bombs are planted. In fact, I think that's a thing you guys can just automatically do.
Yeah. So
All right.
I'm just waiting for people to get the hell out of Dodge before I hit the button.
This sounds amazing. I am so into this. So you guys hear that, Kirill? Your ears are ringing. Your cybernetic arm is destroyed, but you hear Rogan's voice clearly saying, "Hey, plan B, plan B." What do you do, Kirill?
So I think either way, we needed a getaway car. So I think we have one of those speeders that you see on Coruscant that kind of pulls up to one of the windows, the window that just got spidered. And I think Curl is going to try and blow out that window to get to that speeder, to open up that avenue of escape.
Oh, yeah, sweet. Yeah, looking at where we're at on time, I think that's a thing. You could just blow the open, you shoot at the spider cracks that were already there and open it right up. You're hurting. This has not been quite the successful plan, but you guys just might be able to get out to claim victory another day. Awesome. So then I'll cut to Charlotte. So Charlotte, you've got the dead body of the director in your arms. The stormtroopers have been taken out. And then you heard Rogan calling, "Hey, you guys need to go. Plan B, plan B." What do you do?
I'm helping the others get to freedom. As I'm doing so, I'm carrying the body and looking in that camera drone that wanted to watch this. And this is what happens to those who would take the voices from the voiceless. Winosa, chuck her out the window. Just let the body fall and let them watch it drop.
Oh, that's vicious. I love it. Sweet. What do we see from Lynn Lanid?
Lynn, he's going to actually run up and approach after Kirill blasts out the window. He's going to help Kirill get into the speeder. Seeing that he's wounded, he wants to try and do a healing touch on Kirill, even though he doesn't believe in him. He feels that it's necessary. Kirill wasn't, things got pear-shaped. He wasn't supposed to get hurt. So he's going to try and do that.
Nice.
So I'm rolling a 2d6 -2 because my bond is -2 with Kirill.
Holy crap.
And I get a 5, so I fail. I get another spirit point, and that's cool. And Kirill further doesn't believe in me.
No, I think with this, I think Curl reaches up with his good hand and he says, I appreciate all that you do to help us. I appreciate the help that you're trying to give. And actually shows appreciation because you literally helped him into the speeder to get away.
Nice. Oh, that's cute. I appreciate your help, just not the help you meant to give me. Oh, dang it, man. Sweet. So who is our pilot of this speeder?
Can we say it was Chinchensis that drove it
Yeah,
up?
it sounds fun. She actually gets a chance to pay you guys back for all the stuff you've done. That sounds great. So yeah, Chinchensis slides up to the top so that Rogan, or maybe you're already there, Rogan. Yeah. You're part of the rescue crew. And then you guys will take off. I think, Rogan, what do we see as you do you set off the bomb? Are you talking on mute?
No, I'm thinking.
Okay.
He sets it off too early, and there are no more stormtroopers that die.
Okay.
I mean,
And I think,
the message,
if you don't mind
the
us
message
saying,
is clear. Oh, go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead, please.
I was just saying the message is clear across the city. Like, everyone knows what that explosion means, but it didn't take any more lives than it had to. And it was, in this case, was 0.
And if you don't mind, because you set it off early, I think we see our speeder kind of get buffeted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The intention was that there would be more stormtroopers, it would take out more of them. And since you're having second thoughts, you set it off early so that more stormtroopers didn't die, but we're kind of shaken as we get away.
Yeah.
I like that. Sweet. Yeah, and it's the thing where like the antennas that are above like where you were, it starts to tilt over and then it falls down like Palpatine's monument, and Chinchensis lets out a whoop of excitement because she helped save you guys. And I think Freewind has another stormtrooper helmet that she's holding in her lap, and it's bloody, and she's looking at it again and thinking about the first time. And I think we'll bring things to a close because we still have some like post-game wrap-up stuff to do. So let's do that thing, because I know, Mark, you've got to go in a little bit. So let's quickly ask who embodied the revolution this session.
This might not be this might be off, but I kind of feel that Rogan did, especially in the end there, that uncertainty. Because I think the fact that we're kind of approaching this dichotomy of, are we doing this the right way? Are we doing this the wrong way? We're still doing it, but that uncertainty, I think, yeah, that's just my vote on that one.
I agree.
I also agree.
Nice. Good one. Okay, so let's quickly go through those.
Sure.
So, Mark, let's go through the party things. So, did you guys use your strength to crush the opposition? I mean, kind of, yeah. You used your capabilities to try to go in and force somebody to do a thing you're doing. So, go ahead and roll with body.
Okay. Nine.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, the public approves of what you've done. Every comrade gains 1 experience.
Sweet.
All right, your party executes a daring plan with precision. I don't know. What do you think? It was a daring plan. You had precision going into it.
I think the daring plan was committed, but it wasn't with precision when it finally went off.
I agree.
Fair
Yeah.
When your party does something high profile to inspire the oppressed masses. I think so. For sure. Roll with spirit for Rogan.
Spirit, which is -1. 9.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, the public approves of what you've done. Everywhere comrade gains 1 experience, but you don't advance. But I think, did we talk about custom ruling that hit advances on this one? If so, you'll advance in force. So I'm going to say you do, because otherwise we don't get the cool stuff. Sweet. So now we go with zealotry. When your party plants bombs, sets mayhem. That was zealotry. Plants bombs, sets fires, attempts assassinations. You did all those things. Roll with guile.
Okay, that's a +1. Guile.
9 again, nice.
9 again. All right. Every comrade gains 1 experience, and you advance in that one. Yay.
Oh man, I got another level up.
All right. And fellowship, when your party members risk their lives for each other, roll a bond. Definitely. You guys risked each other several times. And the way we're doing bond is an average of the 3. So 3 is basically be 2. You're going to be, no, sorry. It would be 2 and 1 is 3 divided by 3. So it's 1. Roll plus 1.
11.
What? Amazing. I'm so proud of you guys. So on a 10 plus, increase your rank in fellowship. You recruit talented people. Each comrade starts with an advance. Each new comrade starts with an advance. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So that will bring that piece to an end. Mark, do you have enough time to say whose bonds, or do you want to do that between sessions?
Yeah, I can do that real quick.
Okay. Who did you bond with, or who do you want to increase your bond with at the end?
I think it's with Lynn, because he, like, I'm watching him on the camera and he dies behind that desk, and that's when like everything's just like in my mind. I'm like, this is just going wrong. This is not what we were supposed to do. So I think my heart leapt out for Lynn, the smallest of us all, like pulling out a blaster and shooting. Like, what have we come to that Lynn has to be the guy with the gun, kind of thing. So,
Nice.
I like that a lot. That's great. Yeah.
That is a really cool moment to call out too. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so increase your bond with Lynn Lanid.
Okay. And then
That takes you up to a 3.
Yeah.
And I know you got a boogie. Thank you so much, Mark, for playing with us. And we'll let you go.
Talk to you all later.
Awesome. So then let's move from left to right. So Cody, did you?
Yeah, I think my bond is going to increase with. I think my bond was reestablished with Char, which is good. But I think the moment at the end with Curl, gave him a better bond with him. I think even in his failure, Curl's recognition that he doesn't need to heal people with magic to help. He can still just lend them an arm. Yeah, that's the one.
Nice. Awesome. So then Carol.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I think that my bond with Lynn Lanid moved up because of that moment at the end. Who knows if Curl would have been able to make it out if Lynn hadn't helped him. Yeah.
Perfect. And then for Charlotte.
If I can unmute, it's Lynn, of course. Got to give my my Pathfinder that what he's due, which will increase it to 4. So I go up and level up again.
Oh my goodness, you guys are next level. This is great. And that'll push you back down to a 1. That's great. That's really, really fun. Cool. So let's go through a quick round of stars and wishes. We got 2 minutes. So does anyone need to go right away? If so, we'll let you go first. Okay. Seems like we all have a little bit of time. So now, Sawyer, what wishes did you have from this session, or do you have for next session?
I just want to see Mayhem go off really badly and see how. I want to see the revolution. I just want to see it go off and have fun with it.
Sweet. And then Steven, what about you?
So I don't really have any wishes. I was really excited to see how everything kind of went through. So I can't really think of anything. I think I really yeah, that would be a star. So yeah.
Okay, good. Cody.
Yeah, for me, the wish I think would be just I felt a little lost in that last half when we kind of came upon 2 plans. I think we were all so excited to get to, we got to take care of this person, that we didn't take enough time beforehand to plan it out, which I know is like the bane of most games. Like you'd spend 3 hours planning and it goes wrong immediately anyways. So I don't know in a game like this how you do a better kind of streamlined planning session. So it just felt like, we hit on 2 different ideas and then we jumped into them and it just felt like I didn't know the plan exactly, which, it just made it difficult to play a little bit. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I think a sense of place was lost, like who's positioned where. I didn't do a good job of trying to restate, summarize, and make sure that we were all.
Well, it wasn't just stating that. It was, I think, even
it's kind of my job.
The way we came up with plans was a little, half baked, which is, it's fine. Especially, I think it's difficult because at this point in the game, we have this understanding of a kind of like a status that allows us to just do what we want. We get to where we want to be, so we're here now. So it's like, oh, okay, we just get there. So we didn't really need to have this plan. Well, we kind of needed one because now, what are we acting off of in the moment? I think that's that was the thing is we saw that we had those level 4 paths to revolution. We used them and got us to 90%. Realized that we still needed some nuggets in there that we kind of just glossed over, I think. So yeah, I don't think it was your fault at all, Rich. I think it really was just, we were excited to use the new stuff we got and didn't know how to do it right.
Fair enough. Cody, we'll stick with you for stars. Any stars you want to hand out?
Yeah, stars. I tell you what, it was really cool to miss a session. I mean, it sucked to miss a session, and coming back in, I felt so lost, but it was so cool to have that moment be blended into the story. I felt like in the relationships with Char and Kirill, like Kirill always jumping in with the kind of the moments with Lynn where he's like, he doesn't believe him. He's not into what he's doing. But coming back and having this kind of moment where it's like, oh, I missed out on that one mission. And all of a sudden, like Char's the leader. Char's like taking charge. That is so cool. So, I don't know exactly how that shakes out, but it was just like, I was worried about missing the session and not knowing what was going to happen and how it would go on. But instead it actually fed like it fed some good moments, I think, with everybody, leading to that kind of, Char still believes in Lynn, but Lynn maybe doesn't. He feels like left behind. And yeah, so I just, everybody's so on point with characters that it makes it even fun to miss a session and come back.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you so much. Cody, Steven, what about you? Any stars you want to hand out?
Actually, I thought of a wish, if you don't mind me backtracking a little bit.
I don't mind.
Yeah. I saw the combination of your of zealotry and mayhem, and in reading, since we advanced in both, I was like, zealotry is popular uprising and attempt to seize power by flooding the streets with supporters, and mayhem is fear, driving the populace mad with fear. And what clicked is what I'd like to see is the wealthy, the people who were in charge, the humans, are fearful of the masses rising up from the streets. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the rising, and they're all for it until they're tearing down their stuff. Yeah,
that's right.
That totally makes sense.
Especially with what we did at the very end, it was like, oh, you blew up that important building. I mean, some of us lived there. What are you doing taking our living spaces away? Yeah. So as far as stars, I really like this advancement, this meta conversation that we had in the middle, and the advancement, in time to see the revolution happen. It reminded me a little bit of the TV show Dollhouse, where at some point they, like in the last few episodes, they advanced the timeline because they knew that they needed to finish the story. And I think that feels very satisfying to be able to finish that story in advance and show the time passing with, scars or introspection and things like that. And, the advancement that Lynn Lynid has, I'm now I had violence in my heart, and I have, the battle is here, and being the one to pull out the gun. I like seeing the characters evolve over a period of months. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. I also liked that everybody was into the idea of this montage pass and have some development. So I thought it was more successful than I'd hoped. I was hoping for it, and it was pretty amazing. So Sawyer, what about you?
I really liked today. It was it really felt like a good setup, and I admit I agree with Cody. Like when we were talking to Ventor or the first person's like, oh yeah, he just gave us a ton of bombs. That's all it was, just lots of destruction. But I think it was playing out well, and I think we're all playing to our types pretty well, which is interesting. Like the brute is growing less brutish but more introspective. The worker is like been the backbone of this entire thing. The artist is leading the charge even, and it's been really nice. Thank you for everyone, and thank you, Rich.
Oh, thank you. All right, I'm selfishly, I'm gonna say one of my stars was that Sawyer, you set Free Wind off on this like her own little dark pathway that she started on. I like let that opportunity out there, and the way that you capitalized on it, it's fun. I'm loving seeing little glimpses of her descent to whatever. It reminds me, there was a character, and I can't remember the name of the character, but oh shoot, what was the 1980s movie with Patrick Swayze where Russia and
Red Dawn.
Cuba, like, thank you. That moment when he says, "Man, all that hatred's gonna burn you up," and the kid looks up and says, "Keeps me warm." Like, I was like, "Yep, that's Free Wind. That's where she's going," and it made me really. I liked that moment in that movie, and I love that I had an NPC that I could kind of take down that pathway. So thank you guys for that. We will go ahead and bring the stream to a close and finish up the revolution next week. Thank you all so much.